The Bad Crypto Podcast is brought to you by eToro. It's time to say goodbye to Coinbase and Robinhood. Say hello instead to an app with the smartest trader tools and community. Visit badco.in/eToro today. Learn how to get free special edition Badcoin socks when you sign up. We met many super interesting people while in Bali at the Altcoin Mastermind. One guy really intrigued us with his story, and we thought you'd be intrigued as well. After making and losing over $1 million twice in a row with his investments, Bruno Ver struck gold with his next investment in a major tech company. But he didn't stop there. Bruno went down the crypto rabbit hole and is now a partner in Block 5 Capital. We're happy to bring Bruno to you today so you can hear his story. And both Travis and I are now mining cryptos on a new device called the CoinMine One. It's an Xbox-sized device that you plug in and stand back while it mines. No computer needed. We'll speak with Farbood Nivi of CoinMine to discuss his new device. Crypto startups and crypto upstarts. It's all here on episode number 314 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast, where we get funky.
It's true. You can stop me up. You can stop me up. I'll never stop. No, stop.
I don't know that that's...
man cry.
I wouldn't call the Rolling Stones funky.
That's true. They're not funky. But it's called Startup, and then I was at the Chiefs game, and whenever the Chiefs score a touchdown, on the next drive, their stadium plays Start Me Up.
Wow, you had a nail biter there on last Sunday, didn't you?
Well, the first quarter was kind of a nail biter. Then the second quarter, they went out and scored 23 points. So it was 23-6. Then it was not a nail biter, and then it became a little bit closer near the end. But we won. It was good.
Shouldn't bite your nails anyway. I've had a bad habit of that my whole life, and I go through spells where I quit and then I start nibbling on them again. They're tasty, good with ketchup.
That's true. I only chew my fingernails like when they get long, and I don't have like a clipper. So I just I'm my own clipper. No. That's really disgusting.
Good habits. And one way to develop a good habit is to join a community of crypto peoples that you can talk about the crypto space with. That's why eToro could be the best way for you to go. eToro is a sponsor of this show, and they've got a trading app with a social network of over 11 million crypto enthusiasts. You could see what other people are trading. You could talk about trades with them, and you could even play with $100,000 in virtual trading currency so you can test the markets. Pretty cool stuff. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I mean, what are you waiting for? I download all the apps, Travis. Like, I want to check out all the stuff. And eToro, definitely worth checking out. They are now in the U.S. with 15 different cryptos you can invest in, and there's still an opportunity to get Badcoin socks. But you got to hurry. Go to badco.in/eToro.
While supplies last.
And by the way, I think it pays to mention because, you know, we got an email just this week that somebody thought they were going to badcoin.com, whatever.
Bad code.
Yeah, bad code. So the word bad coin, we turn into a domain, BADCO.IN. That is our short link redirect that you hear us say. So, for example, the show notes for this episode, you can find them easy by just going to badco.in/314. So it's not bad code. We're not bad coders. We're just bad.
We're just bad mofoers.
So badco.in/eToro. And we have a great interview. I think you're really going to enjoy it.
We have two great interviews today, Mr. Jolcom. Don't be shorting the interviews. They're both good.
Well, first one great interview, then another.
Yes. That's good. All right. Perfect.
So it would be great if we got into that first great interview.
Let's do it. Let's go right now. It's good. It's great. Good. It's bad.
He doesn't have the uptown funk of Bruno Mars, nor does he have the divisive personality of Roger Ver, but he does have a little bit of both of them. And we met this gentleman while in Bali for the Altcoin Mastermind. His name is Bruno Ver, or Ver, as he likes to say, but I'm going to say Ver because he said I could say whatever I want. He is the Innovation and Technology Business Dev Manager at Tobania. He's a blockchain and crypto enthusiast, and he's got a really interesting story to tell. I think you're going to find it inspiring. Bruno, welcome to Bad Crypto.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor. And I'm not at Tobania anymore, by the way.
Well, then you need to update your website.
Yeah, it's probably something I should do. Yeah, I've been so busy with all these startups that I did not have time for my own website, unfortunately.
That's okay. We're glad you're here, and we'll get the skinny on what it is that you're doing right now. But you know what fascinated Travis and myself when we met you in Bali is that you've had a whole series of interesting investments, many of which didn't go all too well, and then one that went really, really well. So, maybe tell us a little bit about your backstory.
So, yeah, basically I started combining studies and work at the age of 19, 20. I also started my first venture when I was 16, 17. I managed to make over $1 million twice and lose them twice as well. So not the best story, but hey, you learn from it. So I learned.
What were those projects? What did you do that you were able to make and then lose the money?
So the first project was like a rental company back in the beginning of the .com. So nobody had a website. I managed to build a really simple website, and people were renting like stuff from all the stuff that my dad would buy. I was renting it out basically in the beginning without even him knowing it. But I came.
So you were like Uber for tools.
Yeah, something like that. I'm talking back in 2003, 2004, and mm-hmm. I come from a racing industry, so I was racing go-karts and I was raced in motorsports. And as most people might know, motorsports is a really expensive hobby. Now, I was quite good and I wanted to try to make my career in it. So in order to do that, I needed money. So that's how I decided when I was 16, you know what, my dad has all this stuff, I'm going to start renting it. So that's how I basically started. And then when I was 19, I sold that first business to another player in the market, not really known anymore, but yeah, back then, for just above $1 million. And not even 1 year later, I already lost that $1 million. So pretty, yeah. I probably think I probably mismanaged the money. I was probably too young to have that much money. Whatever the reason is, I just invested it in the wrong things, and I also gave a lot away because I'm like, I have a really big heart, and when I see people that need money, or I would like give money just because, yeah, I had the possibility. I learned from that. I don't just give money anymore.
Nice. So then you had another business you talked about. So then you got another million working from another. What was the other business you were? You had a startup that you had gotten some funding and you were working on a startup?
The other one was a wine business. So I drove to the south of France. I would buy wine and come back to Brussels and sell the wine again, mainly to pay for my racing career, because I was still like very involved in racing. And I started combining that with a day job and studying. So I was like doing everything at the same time, working 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And I just had one goal, making a lot of money. I was so focused on the money. And one of the things I learned during these years is when I stopped focusing on the money, things started going much better and much more differently. Yeah, so indeed, I had the wine business, which I sold, and also like 1.5 year after, I kind of started it. Again, a little bit over $1 million, and then 2008 came, like Lehman Brothers and everything. Everybody remembers that, I guess. And yeah, I just misinvested again a lot of money on the stock market, and yeah, I learned so much. And a little later, then I joined Microsoft. I was always very eager in startups, and I always thought about creating my own next startup again, but the next one should be in technology. And that's what I did back in 2011, my first technology startup. I raised $150,000, went to Vietnam, hired a really big team. But again, I was just burning the money. I burned like 150 grand in 3 months. I signed a 1-year lease with a building owner in Vietnam, and I only was there for 3 months. So all these kinds of things happening, So
what did you learn from those before you made your next investment?
Well, what I learned after twice, and then especially when I was doing my own startup, was to go very lean and not just spend the money because you have it. It's nice to be a nice guy and to hire people just because you like them and you think they might be good at doing a job. But in the end, it's business and friendship. It just doesn't, it works to be friends in a business environment, but you cannot just hire people because you like them. You need to hire people with skills and hire the right people. So that's one of the things that I learned, surround myself with the right people with the right motivation. Another thing I learned, especially from the tech venture I did, was don't just blow money on anything. Like I was blowing the money, like servers. I would take the biggest server that was available back in 2011 because I thought my startup was going to be the next Facebook. But yeah, I didn't need that big server. I just needed like a really, really tiny server. I booked like all the domain names, even like China, Australia, .com, whatever you think of, worldwide, all the domain names. It cost about $2,600, by the way. All those kinds of things. But if you raise 150K at that time and you start spending it on such a stupid things, then you spend it really fast. And in the first 2 times when I sold the first 2 startups, and then I lost 2 times all that money. That was mainly investing it in the wrong project. So I didn't really vet projects. I would just listen and say, oh yeah, you're doing a startup. Oh, you're doing this. Okay, I'll do it. Or also the banks. The guy from the bank called me. He's like, you can do this amazing investment in stocks. And then after a few months later, Lehman Brothers crashed. And a few months later, everything crashed. I was like, okay, there goes all my money. So kind of had to start over.
Man, I'll tell you, we got this great startup idea we want to share with you.
Well, yeah. I still do that, but like I said, I surround myself by really good people. So one of the ventures I'm involved with is Block 5, which is a small hedge fund in Miami, and we are basically 6 like-minded people. The 5 others are a bit older and a little bit more mature than myself. We vet projects together, so we basically invest all together in the fund. And with 6 people, we vet the project, and then we decide to invest or not.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful to have that.
You guys are like Block 1, only 5 times better.
Oh, 5 times better, and I hope 5 times bigger.
Right. Okay, so before we delve into your crypto journey, after these other investments, you decided to invest in a new tech startup that was an application. And that app was?
Snapchat.
Yeah, that app was Snapchat. In fact, while even though this is audio for everybody else, I've been snapping you on video and using face filters on you. So you got into Snapchat really early, right?
Yeah, well, I was lucky enough to be involved in my own startup and joining stuff showing those videos. I really get like.
Oh, this one's my favorite right there. There you go.
But it's a female version of myself.
It's a filter.
It's Brunos.
So basically what happened was that I was doing my own startup, and when you do startups, you go to conferences, and at conferences you meet all these really, really cool people that think that they are really inventing the new big thing, the next big thing. So at some point, my startup was kind of crashing. I only had 10K left, and I stumbled against the people of Snapchat, and I managed to join a group of people which were investing in Snapchat. And I joined basically with $10,000, and that ended up pretty well. So after that,
well, wait, hang on. It's okay to brag just a little bit. What did that 10K turn into?
Do I really have to share that?
Well, you shared it with us, so if it's something you don't want to,
I shared it with you guys in a private room.
Well, let's just say that zeros are involved, many of them.
Well, more than 6.
Okay, good enough. I think that's good enough, so people get the gist of it. And how did that? It's one thing to be able to pay your bills, right, and not worry about debt ever again. But money can also mess with people in a negative way, and all of a sudden you find yourself with all these new friends, right, that know you've got money. And so I'm curious, how did this obviously life-changing investment change your life?
Well, I must say that the above 6-figure number was not just for myself, because there were other people involved in that 10K, and it was I was part of a group doing the investment. But anyway, I got off with a really nice amount. You meet people every day, and I'm pretty transparent, pretty open. I love doing things that bring challenges. I look a lot at values and at how people value things, and also how people handle you or talk to you when they don't know your story. Basically, I think during the years, I always follow my gut when I meet new people. So my gut always tells me right or wrong, and I might be wrong sometimes. That happens.
But it told you to do this show anyhow. That's what's surprising to me.
No, it told them to invite us to Bali. That was a bad idea.
Well, my gut told me to do this show because I heard so much of it, and I was like, you know what, I cannot miss this show. I need to do it.
That's nice. So now the Snapchat thing happened. That was a big win, and then you lost all that money again, right?
I didn't lose that.
No, you did not. You still have some. So then what? Is that around the time you got into crypto, or you started understanding crypto, or started diving in?
Back in 2013-14, when that happened, I was basically starting another startup myself. And one of the programmers, well, first of all, back in 2011, I already purchased a little bit of Bitcoin through a friend. But then back in 2013-14, one of the programmers I was working with in Bulgaria was telling me, you need to pay me in Bitcoin. So I was like, what the is Bitcoin? I'm like, serious, dude? What's that? So I started to do some more research, and then I remembered I once had a friend who told me about, which I gave some money to buy some Bitcoin. So I recall him like, you still have my Bitcoin, because one guy in Bulgaria is asking me to pay him in Bitcoin. And since I was digging more into it, I was like, you know what, let's buy some more so I can use it to pay the Bulgarian programmer. 6 months down the road, the project didn't really came off that well. And I just parked the Bitcoins. And then back in 2017, when everything started really like going up, one of my friends called me. It's like, hey, I just bought Bitcoin. It's amazing. I'm like, well, I have Bitcoin. And then I started digging into my accounts, and I was like, oh, wow. And yeah, that brought us here, I guess.
Very good. So we had the opportunity to meet in Bali at the Altcoin Magazine Mastermind group, and a lot of great people were there. You guys you worked together with the Altcoin Magazine, put together a great room of just amazing minds and people who are working on really great projects. What was the idea behind that? I mean, or what was the genesis, or how did you guys come up with that idea to kind of set that up? And because it was totally different than most conferences, you got all these speakers that are doing stuff. This was more sort of, it became like a family over time, which is really interesting.
Correct. So basically what happened is that 2 years ago, I started organizing events myself. I started off with BitConference, and then later on, I renamed it TBS World, the Blockchain Summit. The first BitConference had like 400 or 500 people. And my main goal is to really bring like-minded people together and have them really give them a lot of networking time. Of course, when you do a conference, you need to give them speaking slots and stuff like that. But the focus for me is really the networking time, becoming a family, helping each other grow, do business together. So last year we got involved with Altcoin Magazine through Block5, because one of the things I'm doing right now is still investing or advising. I'm mainly doing advice because I should definitely give a little bit more background on Block5 as well. But we joined Altcoin Magazine, and they came to TBS World in June this year. And then we were talking with Emil, and Emil told me, well, we would like to do something similar, but more selective public, and really focus on the business, on building the business and understanding what people's needs are and help them grow with their startups. And I've always been interested in startups. I love the startup like atmosphere, industry. I love it when people think they have a great idea and they try to do everything to get that idea into something, even if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. At least they try, it's so nice to see people doing what they love. And if on top of that, they can pay their bills with it, create jobs and have other people be able to pay their bills. It's just, I was going to say the F word, but it's just so amazing.
You already said it before, so we'll just grab it from there and edit it in. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So basically, that's how the idea grew from doing it in Belgium and in Europe to doing something more select. And then during that event, Emil and I decided to do another one in Mexico next year. And it's really amazing how you see like these people connecting together, people helping each other, although that each and every one of those startups might be suffering with something, maybe paying bills, maybe not finding the right customers, maybe not finding the right angle to launch their idea. Like and even though they might suffer with something, they're like helping other people. And I think that's also how I initially got involved with cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. It's like the anarchistic idea of Satoshi Nakamoto, where you say, okay, we don't need a government, we don't need all that, we can do it ourselves, much better, help each other, create a new economy, and that's basically what we are doing.
So Block5, the website is block5.io, and looks like you guys have offices in 5 locations: Miami, Cleveland, London, Brussels, and Dubai. What kind of projects are you working with and that really fascinates you?
Well, one of the projects we're involved with is Edge Wallet from Paul Pouet. He's a really, really smart guy. And
he was on the show just a few months ago.
There you go. So One of the projects we are involved with is Paul's startup. Another startup I really like is Verve Flux, which is basically recuperating all the solar energy and redistributing that. And maybe interesting for people listening to the podcast and thinking, let me email Bruno because I'm looking for funds. So first of all, Block5 does not just give funds. We're not just a company or a hedge fund that says, here is money, we invest in your startup. We try to be more involved. So basically what we usually do is we start from an advisory position. So we join a startup from an advisory position. And then when we see that things grow and when we really see that the team has the potential to grow, then we either dig into our own pockets. Like for 2019, for example, we already have all the funds sorted out. So the next funds will be available in 2020. But if we don't have the funds ourselves, we have a really big network, all of us, as well. Frank Amato, Matt Connolly, Nick Lecat, then one guy who I cannot announce his name, and then Gianni D'Alerta. We all have our connections. We all have connections with hedge funds, our investors, our VCs, or just potential partners. So we try to do a bit more than just investing in projects. Really important. And now I forgot the question you asked. So,
well, I was just asking about what kind of projects you're working with and what
kind of project. We tend to invest or to join projects really early stage. It's also our strength to join early stage. Like I said, some of the projects are Edge from Paul Pouet. Vos AI is one of the projects. Well, Emil's startup, Altcoin Magazine. Yeah, we have a bunch more. And during the years that we have been involved now with projects, we even see some projects that don't exist anymore. But that happens, It's part of the startup life.
That is true. It is part of the startup life. So what is on the horizon then for you, Bruno? What's coming up next that's got your attention?
We're talking to a few startups right now. Some of them are those that you also met in Bali. I don't have the names top of mind right now. I should check my my notes.
Let's see. There was Bob, and there was Dennis, and there was Lisa, and I'm just pulling names off the top of my head.
That's funny. So I remember there was one company doing some accountancy for cryptocurrency, and that's a pretty interesting company. I would love to get involved with at some point. Gilded,
yeah.
That looks really interesting. What else? I'm also working on my own basically on TBS World. So I'm working on TBS World. I'm working on Block 5. And then I advise a lot of startups already. So yeah, daily what I'm doing is in the morning I check the market, which is not that good right now.
Let's not talk about that. Hurts my teammates.
That is sad news.
And then after that, I go through my emails and I check the startups that have asked for something. Whatever they ask, I try to help.
All right, Bruno Ver, we appreciate you coming. You guys can check out the Block 5 site at block5.io, and we're going to be watching the projects that you're watching, Bruno.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to post a bit more about projects I get involved with then.
Thank you so much, Bruno. That was awesome, dude. He's doing some great stuff. Great to meet him and the whole gang in Bali. They're doing some great stuff. Love that. Next up, we want to talk about our sponsor real quick. Nasco is the GoDaddy of blockchain. You can tokenize your business today with no coding required. Hold on. You can tokenize your business today with no coding required. You can actually tokenize your influence. You can tokenize your idea. Goodness. They've developed the easiest solution for businesses and influencers to transition into the blockchain age. They have a very easy-to-use Nasco wallet that provides all the tools you need to rock and roll. We talked about them on badco.in/282. You can check them out at nasco.com. You should do it right now if you're thinking about having yourself a blockchain.
Yeah, why not? I mean, why wait? And also, when you check out our sponsors, you're saying, I support bad crypto.
It's true. Thank you for supporting Bad Cryptos.
And remember, if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
Yeah, it's true.
Got another great interview for you coming up right now. Farbood Nivi has developed a miner that is a standalone plug-and-play device.
Mm-hmm. This thing is cool, too. Like, you plug it in, and you press the start button, and it works. So it's a really handy device. I mean, the box is it is a little bigger than I thought it was going to be, but when the box came, the box was huge. Like, oh, damn, this thing's going to be huge. Not as huge. It very, very elegant boxing, almost like opening up like an Apple product of some sort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They look very clean. You plug it in, you connect it to your Wi-Fi, you connect it to the app. Next thing you know, you're stacking Satoshis.
All right, let's listen to the interview with Farbood. We can't talk enough about mainstream adoption of crypto, because that's what it's going to come down to. We need the masses to have it so that's easy for them to earn, save, spend, trade the cryptos. And today we have with us Farbood Nivi, and Farbood is the founder and CEO?
Co-founder and CEO.
Co-founder, okay, at CoinMine.com, and CoinMine One claims to be the first all-in-one crypto device that's made for use by everyone. Farbood, welcome to Bad Crypto.
Thanks for having me. I've been excited to get on the show.
We are glad that you're here, and this device looks pretty cool. You guys can check it out at CoinMine.com.
Mine. It's mine.
It's yours.
It's not. It's
mine. Coin yours.
Yes.
.com. So what is this device I'm looking at here? I mean, it looks like a cable modem.
Yeah. Okay. It's the way I describe it is sort of like an Xbox that turns your electricity into Bitcoin. Is my sort of simplest description of it for the average person to kind of start getting their head wrapped around it. It's actually designed to be a little bit more of a generalized crypto device. So right now it powers some proof of work networks like Grin, Ethereum, Zcash, and Monero, we have this thing called BTC mode, where it'll algorithmically power whatever converts to Bitcoin at the best rate and just give you Bitcoin instead. But soon it'll be a full Bitcoin Lightning node. It ships with the full blockchain on it. Turn on the Lightning node services hopefully later this year. We'll add BTC Pay Server hopefully sometime next year, so you can basically be your own crypto bank. Additional protocols, Handshake. We're hoping to have Handshake available when they hit their mainnet. Could be just a few weeks away. So for the average person, it gives you access to new and exciting, protocols like Grin and Handshake. When you can't really buy them on exchanges, you'd need technical skills to build your own miner, or of course you can just earn some sats if that's your strong preference. So,
okay, so this is basically my own personal miner without having a computer.
That's right. Yeah. It's sort of optimized for that.
That's very fancy. So how do you connect to it? Like what's the GUI? What is the interface that users see? Because I've seen in the past these miners, and then you connect it, and then you're like, okay, well, how do I connect a monitor to it, or what do I do? And so I guess you connect with your phone.
Yeah, that's right. So here's one of my devices right now. It's mining Grin. If I want to switch that to power something else, I can just say, hey, just start making me Bitcoin. And
so
now
just connect to some random pool that you guys have set up?
Yeah, that's right. And you do the whole setup through your phone as well. So if you get a device, you just click add a device, you press the power button on it, say you want Wi-Fi, you just scan a little QR code. My face is not a QR code yet. You scan a little QR code that comes with the device. You connect it to your Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and you're done. It takes maybe a couple of minutes.
That is pretty fancy. So, we know that mining Bitcoin, that people have set up server farms to do that. So how am I, with your unit, going to get Satoshis out of this?
Yeah, so right now for Bitcoin, probably be powering Ethereum is my guess. That's what's converting to Bitcoin the best. So essentially, with this device, I can give you more Bitcoin by mining Ethereum and just swapping it for Bitcoin and giving you the Bitcoin than I can if I pointed it directly at Bitcoin. So, you have like your wallets in the app right here. I've got my Bitcoin wallet, my Grin wallet. It all just goes into there. And if you want, you can keep it with us. And one of the services that we'll add here probably this year
is Badcoin. Oh, great!
It's Badcoin. Nice.
Badcoin.
Yeah. You guys going to ICO on the platform? Well, we've got the compute power for you.
We don't. No ICO. It's a coin that's set up. It's right. There's a little pre-mine, but people are mining it on their bad computers.
It's proof of work.
Yeah, it's Badcoin.
Badcoin.net. You should check it out. Yeah, Badcoin.net. Basically, anyone can mine it with their device. So it's like if you have ASICs or you have any other sort of GPU or any like a laptop, or even if you had like Raspberry Pi, you can mine. We basically have it set so anybody can mine Badcoin.
I love it. We'll definitely check it out. We're always looking for new protocols.
Here's what I want to know. Let's say I turn on my CoinMine One miner. And, how long before I start seeing rewards? Like, is Grin the easiest to mine? And then what can I expect to pull? I mean, what's this actually going to mine for me?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, because Grin is the newest of the networks, you're going to get the most Grin if you're powering it. Right now, you're almost getting a full Grin about, I think, every 7 to 14 days. Every 1 to 2 weeks, you're getting a full Grin. And it kind of comes down to how bullish you are on Grin. Personally, I'm super bullish on it. I think Grin popped up to almost $6 within its first 6 months. I think it's floating around $2 or $3 now. This is even while its inflation is completely insane. So there's one Grin created every second forever, which means its inflation rate now is crazy. But it'll sort of like hit this plateau at some point here in the future, whereas a percentage of the total supply, the amount of Grin that's getting created is not a lot. And obviously there'll always be Grin sort of naturally being lost. So it'll probably just sort of hit some steady state, which is one of the reasons why I like Grin a lot. I think it could get up to, $30, $100, $300. After a year or two of powering Grin with my CoinMine, that's thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. So that's possible. That's obviously
you're saying that we get one Grin every 7 days or so?
Yeah, it's pacing at about that rate now. We've already increased our Grin hash rate once by 80%. about a month ago. We're about to increase it again by another 50% on top of that. So because we own the whole stack, every night we ship these updates to your device. One update made it take 30% less energy. Another update increased the Ethereum hash rate by 10%. I told you about the Grin updates. So it sort of updates like a Tesla over the air and just keeps getting better, adds new protocols, new services. Soon you'll be able to earn interest if you keep your crypto with us, and all that happens automatically.
Okay, so this is a device that you're selling, though. So
Yeah.
what are you retailing it for? And I know the price, so I'm going to ask you, but I'm going to just follow up right away. How do you rationalize the price when, like with Grin, so let's say it's at $250 and you're getting one a week, that's $130 worth of Grin a year.
Yeah. So it's I call this device a sort of plug and play speculator in terms of you're looking at it just from the pure ROI aspect of it. But for example, when we ship the Lightning node, you'll be your own Lightning node. You'll be able to send and receive Bitcoin with anyone in the world for basically no fees instantly. When we ship the BTC Pay server, if you're a merchant, for example, you're basically your own crypto bank. So there's a lot more features besides just sort of generating crypto from the device. But that part is really, it comes down to, what you think the price of something is going to be. When I think of it from my own perspective, this isn't financial advice, but the way I perceive, think about mining is I look at it as a low time preference activity. I don't think about what the price is today, this week, or this month. I think of it in terms of for me, go and try and buy Grin. For the average person, they could never figure out how to buy Grin right now. And by the time it's on an exchange that may be easy enough for them to use, it'll sort of be too late. Grin may have already sort of mooned and the hash rate will be difficult. So if you're someone who wants to sort of participate in these new networks like Grin and Handshake early on when you can accumulate the most because you think they have a lot of upside, then you'll theoretically make a huge amount of ROI on your device. It's also possible that that doesn't happen. But that was the same with mining Bitcoin in 2011. Most people laughed at you. You were wasting a perfectly good laptop and spending more on electricity than the Bitcoin was worth. Now you're a billionaire, so it's tough to predict these things. We wanted to make it easy for anyone to be able to participate in that, make their own financial decisions as to what they think is going to happen. But for the bulk of people, they've not been able to participate in it just because it's too difficult.
Good answer. I accept that.
Let me ask you this then. Like a lot of the miners out there are just big resource hogs. They're just, the fans going crazy. Like how much does it cost really to mine using your CoinMine?
Yeah.
How much electricity?
It pulls less electricity than a PlayStation or an Xbox, about 150 to 160 watts right now. So less than 3 light bulbs. And it's basically silent. Maybe it's as loud as your laptop if your laptop gets going. So the device is pretty, low on energy, and that we can continue to, keep trying to improve. You could have it in your home. I mean, I've got a couple running right here. I don't think you can probably hear them.
Excellent. And then you use your app to manage it.
Yeah, you control the device. You can have multiple devices that you control all with one app. You can mine different cryptos with each of them. They all go into one wallet, and you can either keep them in our wallets or you can send them out to a different wallet if you prefer.
So it's interesting. It's your own self-contained miner, and it's a wallet, and it's a node, and it does use a lot of electricity. What else can it do?
The beauty of it is we created it as something that, since we control the whole stack, we can kind of make it do all sorts of crazy things in the future. Another example, like some future versions, for example, we may include like a Gotenna inside the device. Now, if there's a bunch of coin mines in an area, you can essentially create a mesh network amongst those coin mines, share internet with each other. We've talked.
Did you maybe work with the Exo network, how they have their little GPS thing they're creating?
That's right, yeah, or even protocols like Helium or Wi-Fi Coin. And essentially what we think about it as is, your crypto device. And, if you want to really geek out about it, and talk about how the internet is, been built and is going to be built quite a long, I think of crypto as a platform shift. And quite a long time ago, this was predicted by this woman named Evie Nemeth. She was like the mother of system administration. Literally, she wrote the books on it. And she's such a badass that she was lost at sea while she was sailing around the world by herself. So she disappeared. But before she did that, She predicted that the internet would eventually get to what she called layer 8 and layer 9. So what we know as the internet and apps and websites and things, those are layers 5 through 7. They're called the application layer of the internet. Mm-hmm. So she predicted layer 8 and 9. Layer 8 being the finance layer, and layer 9 being the governance layer. So Bitcoin is.
And when did she predict this?
Decades ago.
Wow.
And so Bitcoin, it didn't really happen until Bitcoin. Bitcoin was that first step into layer 8 of the internet, where the internet itself is sort of providing infrastructure for society. So I call layer 8 and 9 the citizen layers of the internet. 5 through 7 are the application layers. They're for personal use and business use. Layer 8 and 9, I call citizen tech, or the citizen layers. And this is, I think, why a lot of times people have difficulty wrapping their heads around Bitcoin and crypto, because they want to either make it personal or business, because that's what we've known. But that's not enough. That doesn't cover what Bitcoin and crypto does. When you're participating in Bitcoin, you're literally helping build infrastructure for society to run on. You weren't doing that when you were taking selfies with your iPhone on the application layer. But by participating in the citizen layer of the internet, you're actually helping build the infrastructure to run society on. The way we think about CoinMine, and our mission is to make it easy for people to participate in, this platform shift into layer 8 and 9.
What's layer 12? Is it a nice buttercream icing?
You know what? We can all hope. Yeah.
That's what I want. What was this woman's name again? I want to look this up.
I think it's pronounced Evie Nemeth, EVI. Her last name is Nemeth. Like I said, she was kind of known as the mother of system administration back in the day. Quite a badass.
Excellent. Oh, this is cool. I've never heard this before. So what is the book where she writes about the layers?
You know what? She it was it's kind of like loosely correlated to her. So this is all built on the OSI model of the internet, which isn't actually the way that the internet works. The internet runs on TCP/IP. But the OSI model has been around forever because it's a conceptual model of how the technology connects to humanity. And so it's not actually the way the internet is physically built, but even companies like Oracle think in terms of the OSI model because it helps you understand how humans and the technologies sort of work together. So she created a T-shirt, and I haven't been able to find it. I've been trying to find a copy of this T-shirt, but she made a T-shirt way back in the 80s that had the first 7 layers, and then she had added her own 2 layers. You can buy somebody's sort of like made versions of it, but I'm not sure if that was like exactly what hers was. But that's all we know because, like I said, she disappeared at sea, so we don't have much more explanation.
She disappeared in sea in June of 2013. So after Bitcoin had gained a little bit of after it had gained some popularity. So I wonder if she'd ever been interviewed around that or talked about cryptocurrency. It's interesting. She's been missing now for over 6 years. So maybe she's just hanging out somewhere on an island and just
maybe she's Satoshi.
She's administrating the island now under
layers and layers of sunscreen.
I find that fascinating.
12 later.
Yeah, I find it fascinating. By having one of these devices, you can easily participate in the infrastructure of the future. Not only that, it seems that when new coins pop out that are sort of early on platforms and protocols, you're able to bring them on and people can switch over to mine those at an earlier rate before the masses, which I think is good because there's some potential there. And we'll really like it. Our audience will really like it if you could put Badcoin on there. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll work on it. I'll send it over to the tech team.
That's great. Well, Farbood, this is a cool-looking device. You guys can check it out at CoinMine.com, and maybe having one of these will help you to stay bad.
Yeah, everyone stay bad out there.
So after this interview, we both got a CoinMine, Travis, and I've got mine set up, and I think yours is on the way. And I did an unboxing video. If you go to the show notes at badco.in/314, you'll see a link to a video that I placed in the Bad Crypto Mastermind that I basically walk you through the whole unboxing and plugging in and mining. And now here after 2.5 days of mining, you can see I'm showing Travis the app. You guys can't see it, but I've got 7,305 Satoshis So this means it's using Lightning Network, right? Because Lightning is what shows in sats.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool to be able to watch yourself stacking these Satoshis. And I do have mine set up. I got mine like a day and a half after yours, and just set mine up. So I only have 210 Satoshis. I have 2 pennies worth of Bitcoin. But you know what? Over days and over months and just stacking those Satoshis, that's going to be that's just a really cool visual. It's kind of like the gamification of it all, right? It's like watching it grow and watching those numbers increase is exciting. It's almost like, not quite like the old days of mining, right? Whenever you're actually mining a full Bitcoin or 50 Bitcoin, but it is pretty cool to stack those Satoshis because down the road, I mean, they're saying like if Bitcoin gets like $1 million, then won't like a Satoshi be like $1?
Yeah, and if you do the math on it, it definitely is a long-term play, right? If you buy one of these coin mines, you're banking that the value of the crypto you're mining is going to go up over time. You know, if it doesn't go up, if it stays the same, then it's kind of a wash. But if the sats do indeed increase in value, as we all believe they will, then could be a really good investment. You could check it out.
Yeah, the device takes about 160 kilowatts per hour or something like that. Megawatts. I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but it's not too expensive. It's not like owning a whole farm of Bitcoin miners, right? Those ASIC miners. It's actually doesn't take a lot of energy collectively at all. And it's just kind of a fun thing to stack those Satoshis. Very cool. It's not
gigawatts. We know that much.
1.21 gigawatts.
So, Travis, what are you going to be for Cryptoween this year? Have you decided?
I'm going to be Travis Wright.
How about you be me and I'll be you? I'll wear the Kansas City hat.
You know what? Last year was the first time that I dressed up in Halloween since I was a kid. I just never dressed up for Halloween, so I don't know if I'll do it again. I did last year. It was kind of fun. You were Willy Wonka. That was awesome.
How do you not? We're going to World Crypticon in Las Vegas. If you haven't gotten your tickets for that yet, come meet us in Vegas. We're going to have some sort of meetup there for Bad Crypto fans. We'll announce that in an upcoming episode. But go to worldcrypticon.com and get your tickets. Vegas.
There are a lot of tickets already sold. There's going to be a lot of people at this event.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole week of events, right? Charlie Shrem's doing an event. Charlie Lee's doing an event. Michael
Money 2020 is going on too.
A lot of stuff happening. Yeah. Thanks for listening to Bad Crypto, guys. We love you. Our hearts are full with your fandom. As citizens of the Republic of Bad Cryptopia, we value you. Please write us, badcryptopodcast@gmail.com, or give us a call. What's that phone number, Trav?
Bad Crypto hotline is 708-885-9030. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. And if you have a friend who wants to learn about us, tell them to subscribe too. Let's get them on the pool. Let's have them be your friend. You need a crypto buddy. If you don't have a crypto buddy, it's hard to talk your crypto. So make sure to get a friend on Bad Crypto as well.
That's right. And if they ask you why, tell them so that you too can stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto, LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.